Joseph Curry here. Welcome to the Joseph Curry Show. Today's is March the 8th, 2021. We're here talking about, and today's a great day, and we talk about this and that. Well, all know that people are getting vaccinated with their arms, and they will keep practicing social distancing. They keep wearing their masks, and they washing their hands and avoid the crowds and not to gather a lot of people, avoid crowds. But here's what's bothering me. Yesterday we saw people take off their masks, including the kids. I saw them burning the masks inside the bowling thing. And I mean, people just don't, and I just don't get it. I mean, I'm shocked that people burn their masks, putting into the fireball. Fireball. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But look, let's go to the AP News, and it says fully vaccinated Americans can gather with I said fully vaccinated Americans can gather with other vaccinated people indoors without wearing a mask or social distancing. According to long world guidelines from federal health officials, the communities also said that vaccinated people can come together in the same way in a single household with people considered at low risk for severe disease, just as in the case of vaccinated grandparents, vaccinated healthy children and grandchildren. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention announced the guidelines Monday today. The guidelines is designed to address a growing demand as more adults have been getting vaccinated and wondering if it gives them greater freedom to visit family members, travel, or do other things like they did before the COVID-19 pandemic spread the world last year. So that's what happened. Last year, the pandemic began. The pandemic began and it was low. Mike Pence, former Vice President Mike Pence, said it was remaining low. Then, a few months later, it was high. It stays high, and we have people dying. People dying by the virus. But I heard the news that people were getting vaccinated will not wear masks or social distancing because they can stay together for real. And whatever happens, the CDC guidelines says it has to be in look like it's usable, and it is what it is anyway. And yes, it do melts. Yes, it do melts. But this fight in this we put, but this fight against coronavirus is now over. We still have a long ways to go for real. Still have a long ways to go. I can promise you that. And yes, I hear a lot of people, lot of stories going on and on, going on. And now, and look, the numbers are going down. The numbers are going down, and yes, it is. And now you got a whole stuff going on and on again, and that doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't even make any sense. And here in the United States, we got a lot of testing. People are getting testing, and people are getting practice social distancing. And look, Look, it's not going. But look, it's not going away. It's not going away for real. Still have a long work to do. Now, when I look at the data, I look at the health information. It's just telling you. It just sees and tell you for this one for real. And I can assure that will have. It will have for real if we try. And yes, we're still gonna have a lot of 20%. They say in the next 2 weeks it will be 20%. Will be 20% for real. So here's what it is today. Hell, in total in Granville County, 5,324 total cases and 76 deaths in Granville County. Totals in North Carolina, 879,011,553 deaths. Well, this is going to take a long. This is going to be take a long time to recover. Now we go to CNN now. I'll go to CNN, and this is what has happened here, folks. But look, health experts have long argued that face masks are critical to slowing the spread of the coronavirus and ending the pandemic. But some elected officials and their constituents still refuse to wear them. Last week, President Joe Biden criticized states, including Texas and Mississippi, for lifting COVID-19 restrictions, including mask mandates. He accused the governors in those states of negative thinking. At least 15 states, representing 30% of the country, don't require face masks. With more than 500,000 medical dead and New England variants of the virus, health experts warn that such policies could prolong the pandemic and result in more lives lost. We are not out of the woods. We haven't reached the end of the pandemic, says CNN medical analyst Dr. Lynn Wynn. It's counterproductive and truly inflammatory these governments are treating this as if the pandemic is over. It's not true. We could be the pure principle of the foot source, and we have a way to prevent it, and that's keeping our precautions for a while longer, she said. Here are the five reasons why said experts why you should wear a face mask, even if you if your state doesn't require it. Saying masks save lives. The science is clear. Wear a face mask saves lives. Numerous studies have shown that masks are the single most effective way to protect yourself and others from contacting the coronavirus, which causes COVID-19. In countries that require masks, COVID-19. Okay, okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna say this right here. I'm gonna say this right here. I don't care if you're not wearing a mask. I don't care if you're not wearing the mask at all and taking the mask off and not practice social distancing. Not true. That's what the experts say. So, hey, you take off the mask and handle normal life, but you know what is coming. You know what's coming up. Let's go to CBS Sports. LeBron, the sports off. This time it says LeBron James says he plans to keep decisions on whether or not he'll get the COVID-19 vaccine private. And it says the NBA has played the entire 2020-21 season under the hood or the cloud of COVID-19. Number of players have tested positive for the virus, and countless others have been subjected. to the NBA's contract tracing guidelines, forcing them into light inequality and ultimately leading to the postponement of 31 games during the first half of the season. The NBA is hoping that vaccinations become more widely available on a state by state basis will help make the remainder of the season safer, but it will not mandate that its players to be vaccinated in order to play out the rest of the 2020-21 campaign. My hunch is the my hunch is the most players ultimately will choose to get vaccinated. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said Saturday they had to make personal decisions at the end of the day, and I take that very seriously, and I take concerns very seriously. But my sense is most players will ultimately decide it is in their interest to get vaccinated. It is a decision that no active players have let been forced to make, as Silver confirmed that none have been vaccinated yet. A number of them had expressed their uncensored about eventually receiving one. Among them, Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James, who said Sunday that he plans to keep his decision private. That's a conversation that my family and I will have. I pretty much keep that to a private thing, James said. Obviously, I saw Adam had his comments about the vaccination, but things like that, when you decide to do something, that's a conversation between you and your family and not for everybody. I'll keep it that way. The NBA has created another public service announcements featuring league legends, and other to help encourage others to get vaccinated. Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Greg Popovich have all participated, but a number of active players have reportedly been hesitant to do so themselves. NBPA Executive Director Michael Roberts Richardson told Yahoo Sports that players' reactions to vaccination had raised from hell no. I'm not taking it to why can't we take it sooner? Still knowing that CDC guidelines do not mandate quarantines for close contact with those who have tested positive if they have been vaccinated. Now, that's not only make it easier for players to stay on the court after being vaccinated, but could also loosen restrictions on what they are allowed to do off of it. For now, most players remain unable to receive the vaccine due, so they'd still have plenty of time to determine whether or not they plan to do so or share their decisions publicly. So that's what it is, and that's what the players will do. Could they get vaccinated or could they wait? Maybe the off season, maybe not. Okay, let's go to the Joe Biden thing, and this is what he said about. This is what he said a month ago. Yes, and here's what Joe Biden did. That was 2 days ago. Okay. Now, politics says Biden says people will start getting similar checks this month as soon as House passed COVID relief bill. Now, President Joe Biden said Saturday that Americans will start getting down similar checks this month as Democrats rush to send more side out. When we took office 45 days ago, I promised the American people that help was on the way. 2 days ago, I can say we're taking one more giant step forward in delivering on that promise that help is on the way. I didn't say in an afternoon press conference. Okay? This plan will get checks out the door starting this month to the Americans that desperately need the help, the president said. The Senate passed the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package early in the day, sending it back to the House for the final approval. The Democrat held House arms to pass the bill on jobless benefits into September and explanation of the child tax credit for 1 year. The check starts to phase out at 75,000 for single fathers, $112,500 for head of households, and $150,000 for joint filers. Similar to the first two similar checks, the majority of payments will be sent through direct deposit to those who already had their bank information filed with the IRS, based on the last 600 checks. That money could start to arrive within 2 weeks of the agenda getting finalized, according to Garrett Boston, senior policy analyst at the Tax Foundation. The rest of the district payments will go out by mail either as debit cards or checks. Those payments may take longer to arrive, potentially into April and May, Watson said. Joe Biden does. That's what Joe Biden has to do. And they'll get checks. We'll go and get checks for $1,400. We're getting checks for $1,400, Law. And here's what he was talking about. We go to Yahoo News. It says at this point, the Dole Cement check this time for up to $1,400. Took another big step closer over the weekend. The U.S. Senate followed the lead of the House and passed President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package, includes the first round of district payments. So, is that it? Is the money on the way now? Not quite. The legislation is still faced on last test in Congress, but Biden has announced that if you need to cash to pay down debit, or catch up on bills, you won't be waiting much longer. That is, if you're still able for the select checks with the president's blessings, the Senate changed the income limits for this go around. Here's what things started. The COVID rescue bill cleared the Senate at midway on Saturday, but along the way, the regular guidelines on Senate checks got tricky with. The legislation now provides no payments for investment only more than $80,000 or mere cover for five tests jointly and had income of 160,000. Originally, those cards for swimming checks were $100,000 and $200,000 respectively. Single fellows making between $75,000 and $80,000 and covering owners between $150,000 and $160,000 will receive positive payments. Americans with lower incomes will receive the full $1,400 for individuals, $2,800 for joint fellows. Democrat controls Congress but hold the smallest possibly majority in the Senate. Democratic leaders proposing the change, and Biden agreed to it to win the votes of more conservative Democrat staters who want the civic check targeted towards the needless Americans struggling with basic express. The first 1,200 checks distributed last spring were more spent on bases like food and rent. U.S. Bureau of Labor Status found some of the cash also was used for disabling and advancement or for other express that may have included buying affordable life insurance. Ban for those politics has saw in COVID. And that's the reason. That is the reason what this is all about. And that's what he's doing. That's what Joe Biden is doing. Okay, we go to sports. Here's the sports of the NBA. All Star. Last night was a good game, an All Star game, a good All Star game. After that, Zach Core, who won the shooting contest, 3-point shooting contest, and that didn't stop. Couldn't get in the bell. Although it's just a little bit, it's just a back and forth going on, and you know what it is, and you know what's happening here, folks. And it's just a great game between the All Star Team James and Team Body. I mean, Team James and Team Durant. It was absolutely unbelievable. And it was a great All Star game. And although it is what it is, Team James won two in a row. Last year they won. This year, last night they did again. Team James, Team LeBron win 170. Team Durant 150. And yes, I mean, Team James did again. LeBron James and his team did again, 170 to 150. They won by 20 points. It was the highest score in All Star game history. I gotta take a word for sure. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, somehow it will happen. They get the winner line games. It will be a now All Star game next year. And so it was the All Star break, and tomorrow the second half of this NBA season begins. In the second half starts tomorrow. Now, what I'm seeing is, folks, I never get tell. Okay, I never get time when I get to work. You know, spring is coming in the next 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, spring is coming. I never really miss it, folks. I am just something else right now. People are gonna be something else right now. I can make sure that some way, somehow, I can never ever show that I've never been in this whole stuff before. I've never been in this before, and I've never seen this before. But hey, I do what I have to do. It was unbelievable stuff that going on that we had just know. I just know it. I just know it in the bottom of my heart. But look, thanks anyway for sure. I went to work. I mean, somehow I went to work, and you know, my grandmother, uh, her brother, her brother Bill passed away. That was on Friday, right? And he was 88. He and Bill, she and Bill were siblings back in the day. Before well, I wasn't born. Well, I wasn't born by then, but anyway. But you know how it goes. It's life goes on. Can't do nothing about it. But it is what it is. So our condolences goes out to the Johnson family and Uncle Bill and for Uncle Bill. Anyway, you know how it is. So anyway, so that's gonna do it for now for this Joseph Curry show. I'm Joseph Curry. Remember to subscribe to this video. Check me out on YouTube on the Joseph Curry Network. And I see you tomorrow, same time.